Welcome back, everybody. We're the Two Alphas Talk, and we're live. This is not a pre-recorded show. We're live, and today we're going to talk to you about violence. We see you when we get back. You know we love violence. Before we do that, let's thank this lovely sponsor, whoever that is. This guy who's keeping this damn thing on the air.
Floating them.
Type in saberteamtactical.com, then go to your top right hand corner and click on classes, and we have our classes.
Yep. Phase one is one-on-one private class that continues to be a mainstay. Go to the website, click on as we already discussed, and we'll get you up to speed. We do assessments, and we also leave you with something to think about so future practicing and dry fire and things of that nature.
And so we have some dates pending, but we also have some dates that starts up in August and to the end of November. So if you're looking for any early dates, take the one-on-one. And until we get the other classes dates that are pending up and running, and you will enjoy the one-on-one. It's an excellent class. And we also do groups. So businesses, churches,
assessments.
Yep, assessments, anything of that nature. So don't be shy. And let's get on with the show. It's been an interesting couple of weeks. And let's talk about politics first. So the politics you guys have been noticing, it's been very, very interesting. One of the biggest things that happened today was the bump stock ban was canceled out. And Supreme Court stepped in and said, you know what? That bump stock ban is not going to fly. And you must get rid of it. And so that's what's happening right now. And we also look at what took place in the House. You know, you guys know the House the last 24 hours was arguing on who's going to be the Speaker of the House, right? Mm-hmm. So Speaker of the House is actually, what's that guy's name? McCarthy. Hey, what's up, WK? And Omar. And so the Speaker of the House, and so they put the screws to this guy because this guy was a complete rhino. He was just going to roll over for the Democrats. So he had to give in. McCarthy had to give in concessions to the people who were blocking him. And oh, look at that! What's up, Brent? How you doing? And so basically, it comes down to it only takes one congressman from the House to bump him out if he doesn't do what they want him to do. They can actually remove him, and that was one of the concessions things in there. And but he announced last night the first thing they're going to do is rescind the 80,000 IRS agents. That's the first thing they're going to do next week. That's going to be the first thing they're going to tackle. So we'll see what's going to happen here. So if he don't do what he's supposed to do, he can get removed, and he knows the pressure and the fires on him. So you got to love it. We have been winning a lot of gun. Supreme Court has really been stepping in for the Second Amendment. We had the Supreme Court step in on the New York case, and New York is still defying the Supreme Court. So I don't know how this is going to take place, but they're probably going to end up being liable for a civil suit from somebody who's going to challenge them and is going to direct that city. The city is already claiming that they're going to go into bankruptcy over the illegal aliens that's being dumped into their city. And so that's actually pretty funny. So everything is looking pretty good right now in the political house. Like I said, not the bump stocks, but the braces have been kicked out. And So you guys can keep your braces, and I hope you guys didn't get rid of them. And we'll just hang on for the rest. We still have until the 18th of January before HR 1808 and all the other gun control bills that they had under the old House to be dissolved, because the new Senate and House will be in session uh, fully, and so all those bills go out of the way.
Hmm.
So they can no longer use them. So right now, we haven't seen any mass shootings happening. We've seen a few, but they've been put down by honest citizens,
Yeah, absolutely.
and that's been a beautiful thing. That's the only thing we can praise. People conceal carry, defend yourself, and protect yourself.
Hmm. Always
Yeah,
carry.
yeah, always carry. All right, let's get into tonight's topic. Go ahead, Al.
Yeah, well, one of the things with like a common denominator of everything that you're speaking about is
Oh,
violence.
oh,
You're
one more
talking about
thing. One
mass
more thing.
shootings. Look at this guy.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Al. I'm sorry. I just checked some. I'm sorry, Al. I'm always working in the background. Al don't even know what I'm doing in the background. But I want to tell you guys, like on YouTube. We're on YouTube Live. We're also on Rumble Live. Please like on Rumble. Like, it moves us up in the uh, uh,
Algorithm.
algorithm, and it helps everybody watches our stuff. And we got a surprise to tell you at the end of the show too. So hang on.
Also, make that announcement about the guys that are peeking in with my phone here on
Instagram.
Instagram. Yep.
Oh, Instagram guys. If you're on Instagram, get your butt over here on YouTube or get on Rumble. And we're on Rumble, Saber T, and we're on YouTube, the Two
Two
Alphas
alphas.
Talk.
Yep.
And get on over there, and so you guys can watch the show in its full effect and hear and see everything that's about to go down. And you'll hear our special announcement at the end, because we do have a surprise for you guys.
Yep. So we discuss and about everything that we just discussed. We're talking about right now recently has one similar piece in it. And it's violence, right? Whether it's gun violence or skateboard violence or slingshot violence, you do something to somebody else in a detrimental way where you're trying to hurt them. It's a violent act. So with all this being on the table and everything that we are dealing with, one of the things that we have to pay attention to is how to reduce violence. That's the key. And I think people arm people, except for that guy. Everybody else would be understandable and say, you know what, let's reduce it. Whether it's through conflict negotiation or, as we always discuss, avoidance.
Yeah.
When do you recognize it though? That's the key, because sometimes by the time you recognize it, maybe 2020, maybe hindsight, like you said, I should have did this. By that time, it's too late. It's too late.
Oh, look here.
Oh, that's Keisha.
Ah, hey, Keisha, what's up? Thank you for tuning in.
Yeah. So that's what we're talking about. And as much as we know we stand for the Second Amendment and things like that, nobody that I know of, nobody really just wants to go out every morning and shoot somebody or get involved. And that's going through being a police officer for well over 20 years. I never met anybody that was like, hey, I want to go shoot somebody. It's a lot of judgment. There's a lot of things that go on. And don't get me wrong, I'm sure there's nut jobs in everywhere. Okay,
I'm staying
but
quiet.
we have. That's what I said. I'm just bringing it up to it to say, hey, we got to pay attention to those things, and we got to try to come to a resolution as to where we stand. Being armed. Think about it. In this day and age, right now, more and more people are buying firearms. Some that shouldn't have firearms, and some that need more training. Right, and even those people with training are still making bad calls. Just recently here in the state of Georgia in DeKalb County, guy shoots another an employee for was a Tire Plus. The employee who took his car was taking the guy's car for a test drive to see what was wrong with it, and he killed him. That's stupid. The dude last year with the mayonnaise, that was stupid. There's no other way around it. I've talked to some people who have staunch 2A proponents, and they're like, "Well, that was just a misjudgment." Bullshit! It's not a misjudgment. That's stupid. That's stupid.
Yeah,
You can't justify that. You can't justify that at all.
yeah.
I don't.
Murder over a misadventure. Yeah.
Right. I mean, and that this one recently, the guy is inside the shop. He didn't ask the manager, "Hey, does the guy work for you?" Nothing. He took it upon himself for his car that he went outside and decided to take the dude's life. And this guy worked
Mm-hmm.
there. That's ridiculous, bro. And
Mm.
that's the thing when it makes
Mm-hmm.
it easier for a whole lot of punks out there who carry guns, because
Right.
it makes it easy. And I've seen them on badge carrying and those without badges. You still a punk. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes if you want to look at it, when people say when you use your hands, I don't believe in that neither. Use your tongue, use your mouth, talk it out. We got to get to a point where we elevate. Now, mind you, you asked me the same thing 20 years ago. Maybe I was a shish kumbah, ready to fight kind of dude. But at this point in time, we're getting into a more civil society. We got to be able to discuss things. And what's the biggest thing people say nowadays? Let's agree to disagree. I don't like that. All right, because I'm always right, so I don't agree with you, right?
So
But at the
you're
same time,
you're the
I do
problem.
understand the sentiment. I understand the sentiment. Let it go. Ask Rick. If Rick comes on there, we've agreed to disagree on a number of things, and we're still buddies and love one another and keep on moving. But there's a lot of things that we would just. I got a better understanding after dialogue with him, but I'm still not agreeing with him.
And I think that's when you answered this question right here
Hmm.
just a few minutes ago. You know, how you curb violence in a society where we have low tolerance for
Yeah,
what we
we perceive as
perceive as
disrespect.
disrespect.
Yep.
For
Disrespect
most,
in this day
oh,
is. Go
hold
ahead,
on.
bro. You take it. Take it away.
Yeah, most of that disrespect is emotion, and especially when it's coming from men. We have a huge problem with overly emotional men. That's because they wasn't raised with true masculinity. And so what's happening is when you don't raise men with true masculinity, they become emotional men. And when an emotional man is the most dangerous man that you can have around society, because his feelings, he don't know how to control them. So he'll act out with anger, aggression. You've probably seen it in some of the videos where you got these kids. They'll be in the classroom, they'll be acting out, just tearing up the classroom. Next thing you know, they're hitting the teacher, whatever. Especially
Hmm.
these young boys, they don't know how to control their emotions. So that's why our prison systems are so large, because we have a lot of emotional men, and these guys get out there and they they take out their emotions instead of suppressing them. And it's good to suppress them, because if you can suppress your emotions and control yourself, you know you're violent, you know you're a dangerous person. But if you have that control, you're much more how I want to say it, you're much more of a man to control yourself than you are one that's trying to, you know, let your emotions run wild. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, wait.
It's
I
kind of
want
hard.
before you get to the next part and before you answer Keisha's second part of that question
Yeah.
or the comment that she just made, I want to say also that I think that the generation, you, me, and anybody in between us, be up to maybe 35 years old, drop the ball on that same
Hmm.
thing you said, because you said that they weren't around
Okay.
masculinity, right? So
Right.
how are they not around masculinity? Somehow or
Because
another, their parents failed them, not just the one
no, it
parent,
ain't.
but both parents.
It ain't. It ain't. Well, it's it's is you. If you want to go down that road, we can go down it.
Yeah,
So
go,
here we go.
go.
Here we go. So it's usually single parent moms. Single parent
Hmm.
moms raise monsters.
But
They raise.
they
Hold
can't
on.
have children by themselves.
I know, but it's the guys that are
Hmm.
not around too. So, but single parent moms is a known statistical fact. They raise serial killers. They raise murderers. They raise school shooters, and you can't blame it on them, because you got a woman who's trying to be a man and a woman in the household. And the only way you can teach a man to be a man is with another man. A woman can't
I
teach a
agree
man
with
to be
that,
a man.
but at the same
So,
time, look at history and the big H guy and Mussolini, those dudes. They come from two dual parent households, and they still turned out to be monsters. And that's absolutely what she said. See, the generational issue is one of the things where there's a big gap. Like, we didn't do the proper handoff. We didn't give them the football to run for the touchdown. We didn't give them the baton so that they continue to race. Somewhere another line, it was dropped, and I blame a
Yeah,
lot
it
of
was
people.
dropped because you got you got new think, you got wokeism, you got
But that's the
feminism.
last 15 years. Let's talk about
Yeah,
before that, 30 years. We're talking about some of these guys
yeah,
are in their 30s now. And it's the guy that shot the lady with the mayonnaise, that dude was almost 40 years old. He's 38 years old.
right. He
38
was a
years
walking
old.
time bomb. Remember that movie? That movie,
Falling down.
Falling Down. It was falling down,
Yeah.
and
And
you're
I
looking at
imagine, because now you know me, I can go on both sides, so don't get mad at me, guys. But think about this:
get mad
we
at me.
made it easier for people to not that side, but two sides of an argument. How about that? But we made it easier for people to carry firearms. Now, the thing that we
What?
spoke about this before, yeah.
What?
Think about this: when you take the process right and you streamline it so that more people can conceal carry because of the fee, you now people who have been marginalized, whether it's by their own fruition, for
Psychos.
yes,
People who are
for
not supposed to have guns.
right, who are
Yeah,
going out
now
here,
they got guns.
they don't want to be left behind,
Right.
so they're gonna carry a gun anyway. They're just gonna
And
carry a gun.
or like he said, there's no fear of
Hmm.
consequences of committing crime and shooting someone among the young people today. No,
Yeah,
there's no fear. And you look at your greatest shooters now are under the age 20.
I just sent you one that you could post right about now. It's a good segue. But
Okay.
check this out. This
Oh,
is
it's
ridiculous.
in the thing.
Hmm.
You shared it. Okay,
Yep.
boom. There we go. All right. Teacher shot by a 60-year-old. Yes, I heard this on the news, and they said this was not an accident.
No, he intentionally
Yeah.
brought the gun to school. Now, mind you, I haven't found out a bunch of the actual details of how it happened, but basically, it was an altercation of some sort, and the teacher was shot, and she's in stable condition right now.
How
But
big is a 6-year-old?
exactly, there you go. And on
Yeah,
top of that, this kid got a gun and brought it to school. It wasn't like he found it in the playground.
so it looked like some parents about to go to jail.
Should
Yeah.
absolutely,
What
and
city was
that's
this?
something. Newport News, Virginia. Yep,
Oh yeah,
Newport
somebody.
News.
Yeah, they're going to jail there.
And you
Yeah,
remember years ago when we were younger, you always heard that. You always heard about, if you did something wrong, your parents are going to
Take the
suffer
punishment.
consequences.
Yeah.
Well, we need to get back to that because I think a lot of parents, and the same thing that WK said in reference to the consequences, when you were younger, if you thought about getting in trouble, you thought of things like the death penalty or even going to jail. Now going to jail for most of these guys is like a family reunion, and I'm being funny about that.
Right.
They got
Yeah.
cousins and friends and guys from off the block
It
that
gives them,
already
give them street cred.
incarcerated. Yeah,
Gives them street
and
cred.
that too. And then they get street cred for surviving going to jail, and that's really animalistic. I don't know how many people have been in a jail, but it's not fun. I don't see the fun part about it.
Everybody needs to get a taste of jail.
Hmm.
All right. This
Yeah,
is
no
not
doubt
a
about it.
parent issue. It is a parent issue. This is a leadership issue in and out of the house because it's the parents in the house, not leadership. This is social media. I do believe social media
Yeah.
has made the decline of all Western countries. Facebook, TikTok,
Instagram,
Snapchat,
all of them.
Instagram, all of them. They're destroying.
Yep.
What's-
This is a
what's going
political
on.
issue, and I agree with that. And I want to amend that first part. I think what I would like, and this is my part, Keisha, so don't get on me because she's tough.
I say it like
The
it
first
is.
part, me too. But this is
Yeah.
not just a parent. It's not
No,
just a
she
parent.
said it.
issue.
She said it's all
not
about the money.
Absolutely, and it says
Yeah.
this is not just a parent. You said not a parent issue. It's not just a parent. It's more than just a parent. And I agree.
Right.
That's what I was going to add, but I
Right.
read
But
it
the
again.
parent,
I
but
read it
hold
slow
on.
so that I can
Hold on.
understand it. Go ahead.
But the parent control your household, right? You got to control the internet. You got control of cell phones. You got control of everything that comes in your household.
Okay,
That's it. You know what I'm saying?
dude. Did you ever leave the house when you was a kid?
Yeah.
All right. Once you leave the house, now what happens? You do what the hell you want to do.
Oh yeah, I did.
until
No, I went back
until
home.
somebody
No, I
saw
went back
you.
home.
Exactly, till somebody
Yeah,
saw you and then
and went and
reported
told my
your
parents.
actions.
Right,
And
right.
sometimes you get away with it for a week.
Hmm.
Sometimes you get away with it for a month. But soon enough, your mom and your daddy found out about what was going on and you got your ass
Right,
taken care of. That's what I'm
right.
talking about. So what she's saying in this day and age, it's even greater than what we had. We didn't have no
Well, number
one of
one,
these things
you
to
can't
roam
beat
around.
you can't beat your kids like they used to get beat like we got beat
You
because the kids
crazy? You
no kids are
crazy?
gonna
Yes,
turn
you
you into the
can.
cop. I,
No, bro. What was that TV show years ago? It was actually a movie, Kramer versus not Kramer. I think it might have been Kramer versus Kramer. That was in the 80s. There are
okay.
people beating their kids worse than you can imagine. Look, you ever see that on TV? I mean, on YouTube? And these silly parents videotape that stuff. And I'm thinking those parents should go to jail and nothing ever happened to them. They beating their
Right.
kids like grown men.
Okay. All right.
It's crazy. I mean,
Yeah. I
and
don't
I
see
don't agree
those.
with that. I think that
Yeah.
when you at a certain age, you should be able to have dialogue with a child instead of beating them. They're not
Yeah.
animals. And
And
hell, you
once they
found out
once they become a teenager, I think
most of the people
that's
on
where
this
the
list, if
dialogue.
they found out their neighbor was kicking their pet's ass, they'd call the ASPCA or whatever it is, the animal control or
Right.
something.
Yeah.
You find out a kid's getting his ass kicked, well, he probably deserved it.
Right. Right. Yeah. But I mean, you got to have a two-parent household is ideal for raising children
It
today.
is, but it doesn't
And
always happen that way.
no, it doesn't
And
always happen
but
that
at the
way. But
same time,
statistics also show that single male fathers have better success on their children than females. You know what I'm saying?
I can see the potential of
Statistics.
that.
Yeah.
But at the same
So,
time, you also have to understand what we're talking about in our field right now. We're talking about is for reference to guns,
yeah.
because the gun is the great equalizer. There's plenty of
No,
videos you see a guy get punched in the face and then he returns around and
and go
draws a
get a
gun and
gun.
reaches a gun and shoots the people 30 freaking minutes after the incident was over.
Right. Yeah.
Because of back to what you said about his emotions being hit.
Hmm.
Same thing with Keisha mentioned earlier in reference to disrespect. Disrespect is so wide open. I mean, you interrupted me earlier. I feel disrespected.
You
I
better get
feel
your gun.
disrespected. Now what?
You better get your gun.
Exactly. See, you're right.
Shoot,
And look,
shoot. Matter of fact, shoot up your laptop.
I'm gonna shoot this screen right now because I'm pissed at you.
Right, right.
Right. Exactly. And that's the point. It's like the emotions that you do something right now that makes you feel better, but yet you
Hmm.
destroy something else or destroy somebody's life. That's
Right.
ridiculous.
Here it is, right here.
Hmm.
Voice of reason. It all begins at home
Well, I'm gonna hit you with the
with
next one. Go ahead.
parents. Can't blame something else or someone else for what you did, what you didn't do,
or
or neglected to
Right.
do, i.e., raise your kids. Prime example of that lady's kids downtown Atlanta
Oh
at
yeah, 17th Street.
Yeah, and they got killed.
Mhm.
Two kids got
Two
killed.
boys. Well, actually, three were
It was a
shot.
three.
Three
Three
were
was shot.
Two
One,
died.
two died. One lived,
Hmm.
and they were all under the age of 13.
15.
You know,
One was
15.
15, and the two that 13 and 15-year-old died. I think
Okay,
the one older, and then they were shot by a dude in his 20s
right. And so
over
why?
gang stuff.
Well, why are they out on the street?
Hmm.
You know, and the mother has the nerve to say, "Well, I tried to get help. I tried to get
I believe
this."
her. I believe
Yeah,
her.
but you can't control your kids.
Mm-mm.
You know,
The
you
parents are your first teachers, right?
right.
Parents are the first teachers. So no matter male or female, that baby, when you the mama, dada, all those little words and the dialogue, the accent, all that stuff comes from the parents. The first,
But don't get upset when it becomes a statistic.
mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Because you see it happening.
Right.
But apparently you knew he was out. Why didn't you call the cops on him and have him
If
hunt
you
it down?
listen to all the other interviews that she did, she said that he was involved in boxing on one of them. I don't know both stories, but one kid, one that died first, the mom said he was involved in boxing. He went to boxing, went home to school. So the same thing that I just said to you, just like both of us have come through. There were times when I went outside and my mama didn't know what I was doing. I told her I was going to be on the block, and I was nowhere near my block.
Oh yeah, I've done some stuff.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
I've done some stuff. I'm not gonna say it on air, but
Right.
I've done some
I mean,
wild stuff.
as a kid,
You
growing
know
up
what
in
I'm
a
saying?
city, being a miscreant is the least of my worries. Really, I mean,
Right,
we didn't do any criminal activity, but we were definitely a nuisance. We're
right.
definitely a nuisance. We go in places that were closed, but we wanted them open because the time that they close it, say 6 o'clock in the evening, we just getting started.
Let's just
So,
say I needed to go into the army. this, in order to save myself. I
right,
needed to do it. You know what I'm saying? Or
absolutely, I
I would have
understand.
been in a different
But
place.
this was reference to what we were talking about just a few
Right.
minutes ago. That's not
It's,
the society that we live in. You're right. Because one of the things that I wind up having happen to me all the time is because I speak, and me and Rick went with this. I speak in the terms of looking at it as a group, as a society. So some people are about I. I don't do that. I don't do this. So they don't understand. But there are people who are doing it. And there are people legally doing it and people who are doing it illegally. So when you look at it in that sense, we have to police and be our brother's keeper as well as our neighbors or somebody else's kid's parent or role model.
and yes, we need to raise our kids. Yeah, which is true.
Right. And the
Yeah.
thing is, raising a kid sometimes being helpful to raise a kid is just telling on them. Just telling them the same thing that we're talking about. That maybe some other people may have experienced, where you roam in the streets and somebody recognizes you, knowing damn well you ain't supposed to be over here. Like the one you talked about, those little boys. Had somebody seen him, and maybe, as what you're alluding to, had somebody called his mom and say, "Hey, look, I just saw your son on 17th Street." If she turns around and say, whatever," then it's on her. Don't come
Hmm.
on. Don't let me. I'm not concerned about you crying on TV, but listening to what she said, it sounded like she was in desperate need. She even said at one point she wanted the police to take her child. Now that they haven't done that since the 40s, so I don't
Right.
know. Maybe she
Well, they
needed
got rid
to
of,
get more help.
and it wasn't it was a school night, wasn't it?
Hmm. It was like
Yeah.
a Thursday
Yeah.
or a
So
Wednesday night.
they got rid of truant officers. They don't have them
Right.
anymore like
Well,
they
well,
used
they
to.
still had a curfew on. There's a
Oh
curfew
yeah.
on in Atlanta,
Right. So
so
he
they were
should.
breaking the curfew.
Yeah, they shouldn't have even been out there. And
Hmm.
she's saying a few mass shooters
Yep. See,
lived in both
and that's
parents'
true.
home. Yeah, so it's a few. A
Hmm.
few does not make the majority. So we're
And
looking at
the Kenosha kid lived with his mom, bro.
Kenosha kid.
Yeah, Rittenhouse.
Oh, oh,
Yeah,
okay, yeah.
his daddy live in
And
two towns
he
over.
shouldn't have been out there on the street with his rifles. You know what I'm
Oh, you
saying?
said that.
Yeah,
You
I
said
mean
that.
he shouldn't have been out there. I'm
You
not,
said that.
if he wasn't out
Whoa.
there, some people wouldn't have perished. I'm a firm believer. If I don't
Well, if
need to
they
be
didn't
out
swing a
there,
baseball, if they didn't swing a skateboard at him, they wouldn't have
I
perished.
wouldn't have been out there, bro. I wouldn't have been out there.
I mean, did
I
you see
want.
me?
I don't. I
Did you
don't.
see this
I
face at
don't.
any protest?
I don't even go get gas after dark. I I don't go outside at night.
That's because
Because
there's
I
no
know
discounts.
no, it's no discounts, but it's just I know what I am. So I am not gonna put myself out there if I know what I am. Because if I turned it on, can I turn it off?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Hmm. I got you.
So yeah,
But at the same time, some people have no.
there you go.
Right.
Use tough love.
Hmm.
Ass whooping saves lives.
Yep. And I'm sure in some
I
cases
like that, man.
it
That
gets
need
to
to
the
be on a
point.
t-shirt.
Yep. In some cases that's what you have to do. But I think as a rational society, as we get older, we got to figure out how to use these damn words. And one of the things that I'm gonna say it again and ad nauseum. I've been saying this probably since 1994. These young people, instead of what's it called, dare and these
There.
that other gang reduction thing, it should be a class taught, and not by the government, but by public schools, the government anyway. But teachers
Uh,
that they should teach conflict resolution, how to negotiate in
yeah,
between the
they're too
two
busy
people.
teaching racism, dude. How you gonna teach that? Come on now, man. You know, it makes some sense, bro. They're not, you know.
Teaching racism. Are you
I mean,
fucking kidding me?
I mean, everything is race
Oh,
hypersensitive, man. You know it is. Everything is race hypersensitive. Hypersensitive. You
oh.
know, it's like every black person walking around being offended over race.
Well, you know what
And,
it is? You know what it is? People are finally getting their shine, and I think a lot of times, especially with information that's being out and the mass media that we have, and people have the ability to be smarter than they ever was before by using one of these.
but they're not.
That yes, they are. Yes, they are. And the problem is that it's coming at them so hard and so fast that they don't know what to do, and they immediately get offended. They immediately get offended instead of letting it absorb in. So they get offended because I'm gonna tell you, and you start really, and I've been doing this for a long time, so I'm past my being offended
Yeah,
phase.
I made you a patch.
But yeah, exactly. I've been past that, but I did go through it because when you start learning what our real history is, and you see that, and you get disgruntled, you get pissed off, and you want to do something about it, and then you realize it was 300 years ago. It was
Right.
200 years ago. So you got to make a change for today. You can't keep reenacting that. And who you gonna charge? Who you gonna go after?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Exactly. And
There we
what you
go.
said.
Let me pull that. Let me pull that
Yes.
up.
Yes.
Need to teach financial freedom.
Yep.
You know, it's a somewhere they were talking about teaching financial freedom in one of the states. I don't know. It might have been Florida.
Well,
One
DeKalb
of the,
County started one here in Georgia, where the parents are coming in on a weekly basis, and they're going to start working with the kids. They have different parents who have different skills, and they're bringing in the parents to actually talk to the kids in real life situations in reference to managing money, saving money, investing money, emotional wellness, and all the
yeah,
stuff that she
but
pretty much.
mental health wellness.
Mhm.
Majority of the people I met and know they're mostly nuts.
Right, we
So
all are, but
yeah.
you still have to come to a stable part where you can be grounded. Sometimes you
Now,
can't go around Looney Tunes all the
define
time.
emotional intelligence? That's because
Emotional
that
intelligence is when you almost what I'm gonna use your words back to what you talked about, the immaturity of those young people and the emotions that men have, being able to put that in check,
okay,
to
not
realize that you're getting too
compartmentalizing.
far away from yourself and say, okay, let me sit back,
Right.
or take a buzzword from somebody else. When somebody says, "Hey, man, you okay?" Then you realize, well, I must be a little bit off kilter here if somebody has to ask me that.
Right. Because men this is how men work, Keisha.
Hmm. Oh, she know.
Oh, she know?
Hmm.
Okay. We have violence. If I have violence here in my life, I'll take that violence and put it in a small box and
Hmm.
I'll put it away. Then if I have more violence, I'll take it and put it in another small box. I won't put it in the same spot. I'll put it
Hmm.
somewhere else. Then I have all that rage inside of me. Most men, most most guys who are civil and really know about themselves, their mind has got so much rage inside of it. It's just
Read her next comment. The last one, not
oh, okay.
exactly.
Yeah, you caught
Hmm.
me. You messed up my train of thought, man.
You were going
And
good.
and
That'll help you though.
so if they can contain it and control it, that's the way our forefathers done it. That's the way we men have done it for years. And so what's happening today's society and what's going on, they're not teaching them how to compartmentalize that violence or those tragic things that they had happen to them in the past.
Hmm.
And then you get those guys who just unleash, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And it's scary because you can have you have some of the most deadliest soldiers out here alive today. I'm talking about guys who was with Delta Force, Special Forces. Those guys, they got so much trauma and violence that they have witnessed and seen, and they taken it and harnessed it.
Right, but that same thing what she's talking about, the
Right.
emotional intelligence, to know that if you're about to be triggered, either you leave, or if you do get triggered, you back down based upon the circumstances. You're not under threat. We're just talking words. No,
Right.
nobody put any violence toward you. Nobody is touching you. Even when people
Right.
speak violent
Right.
words,
It's
you can
just
still
words.
walk
Right.
away.
Right. Right. Knowing what to do after you are triggered. Yeah,
Hmm.
you don't get triggered. That's the saying. I
Well,
mean,
it's hard not to say that. We all have personal characteristics, bro.
Well,
There's something that me and you can talk about, and we laugh and joke, and then all of a sudden is said again later on, and you look at me
well,
like, I can't
you
believe you
know,
said that.
you ever I know you do it, but you ever notice when you about to do something, or you know there's a violent situation coming up, and it's almost like you see the violence play out before it happens. So you already know what the violence is going to take place or what you're going to do before you do it,
Right.
and you decide to turn and do and go a different direction. You know what I'm saying? That's guys who have that have their mental um, um, emotions and really in check. You know, because you can see your own future at that point. You can see what you're about to do. You can see what you can take place, and you're able to control yourself no matter what you're hearing or what you're seeing, and not enact on it or allow yourself to be drawn into it.
That's true.
And that
But
takes a lot of strength.
it does, and it takes a lot of
Yeah.
training. It also takes a lot of training and having been there before. Because if you've been there before and you did act on it and you didn't like the repercussions from your actions, whether you wound up in jail or somebody else whipped your ass, then you have to realize, you know what, I don't want to go through this anymore. And the next time something similar to that happens, as it's building up, you're able to just hard left, get out of here.
Yeah. I know what you're saying. Yeah.
We talk
Basically
about it all the time.
You're
Is,
saying the same thing. Yeah.
Right. The best way
Yeah.
the best gunfight that you can ever have is the one that you
There's
don't
not
have.
one. It's
Right.
not having one. It's never
not having one.
unholstered.
Yep.
Yeah. Never
To
pull
avoid
it.
it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that,
So-
see, a lot of times people don't realize that. And other thing, the environment that people live in, sometimes they're not afforded the opportunity of leaving. If you live in this particular building, and this particular building is infested with
violence.
drug dealers, there's nothing you can do about that. You have to live there. You can find another. Well, you can find a place to somewhere else to live, but it's not as easy as we would say. Just move.
No, it's not that easy, because you're gonna always be approached. You're gonna always be solicited, and so. But once they see that you're not that type of dude, you know, they will leave you alone.
But that's hard, bro. That's hard. I'm talking about. I've seen dudes physically assaulted
Beat up.
because they didn't want to be a part of a gang, or they didn't want to be a part of this network of nut jobs, but yet they still had to come back on a regular basis, and they wanted more out of life than just this neighborhood, but they were stuck there. And that's what I'm talking about. It's like
Right.
there's certain circumstances where you just have to deal with this stuff. And these guys are relentless because they believe in their lifestyle. Yeah. And the same thing with bullying. If you got kids in high school that are being bullied, and in certain aspects you see them, they'll come in with a gun because they want this to stop.
Well, I'm gonna let you a little secret. We've all been bullied, and so it's how you're gonna take it out of there. Either you should take that bullying and compartmentalize it and become stronger and better.
But who taught you that?
Who taught me that? Just got tired of being bullied. I was 120 pounds in the high school. You know what I'm saying? When I left high school, I was 140 pounds. When I went into the military, I was 140 pounds. When I got out of the military, I was 190 pounds. And top physical shape. So you take that and put it back into yourself and build yourself, become that machine.
But
You know what I'm
not
saying?
everybody can do that. Not everybody can do that. Some people will cower into that.
Well, a lot of fighters do it today. A lot of martial arts people do it. They're always, it's a lot of people who do it.
But when you say a lot, even 100 is still not everyone.
yeah, well, number one, they need to get off this thing right here and get themselves out and do some physical fitness. Get off that phone. Go do some.
But
physical
we're talking
fitness.
about bullying, bro. What the hell's a fucking phone got
Well,
to do with bullying?
Because I know when you get bullied, instead of going home and sulking in your sheets, take it out on yourself. Work out. Get in shape.
See
You know
how
what
you
I'm
just did it? That's the advice of a mentor. Somebody that says, hey, you know what? They see what's going on and they intervene, not necessarily to get in a person's life, but just give them advice. That's
Yeah.
solid advice what you just said. But not everybody gets that. Not everybody has an Uncle Al.
Well, no, because I'm not gonna go out and mentor a bunch of fatherless kids.
There we go.
That's
See,
not my
look at you.
thing.
Look at
You
you.
know what I'm saying?
Look at you. This guy, man. You almost had us, man. We were going with you, and
That's
you
not
just
my
go
thing, bro.
hard left.
That's that's not my thing. You know, you know what I'm saying? I dealt with a bunch of knuckleheads in the military, a bunch of fatherless kids, and I was ruthless. You know what I'm saying? So
And they're all better people for it today.
yes, I broke them. You know what I'm saying? I broke their spirits. You know what I'm saying? So then, and that's what you have to do sometimes, because they didn't have parents to do it. So when you come into me in the military, and my job, and they always sent all the misfits to me, and I broke every single one of them. You know what I'm saying? I enjoyed it. So and it is what it is. But you try to make them better people. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
I understand that, but
yeah.
what I'm also saying is not just that. Back to what we were talking about before about that gap in the generational gap, is that we have to reach out to them. Whether it's you or you give me the information and I pass it on because you don't deal with what you call them, fatherless kids. Okay, so that's the case then. But there's some of us out there that's willing to reach out to and offer a helping hand to the next generation. Because I think that's one of the things I'll tell you. I'm very rarely do I speak to them, these young dudes out here, bro, because I see what's going on and I don't want to have to evaporate anybody.
Right. I
So
understand.
I just walk by. I see them. They sometimes I always try like, oh man, they just having fun. But then I'm like, okay, you getting a little carried away there, buddy. And then I see them looking around and we make eye contact and I let them know you are dealing directly with the devil's ear. I
Right.
will light you up on fire, my friend.
Right.
Not here, not today.
Yeah. I don't talk to anybody that's under 20. You know what I'm saying? I prefer to talk to people in their 30s because they listen a little bit
Right.
more. But you're in that 20 bracket. No,
It's hard. It's hard. That's why I said it's hard, and you gotta kind of like. I like to be able to say that I would give each person an individual chance, but I don't. I'm definitely a prejudger.
What's it? Blessed Alfonso?
Bless
What did that mean?
Alfonso.
Whatever that. I don't
That
understand
thing
now.
that you just said, the last thing you said, Jesus giving you, bless it.
Oh,
Yep.
okay. Here we go.
See, there we go. I
Bullying.
knew somebody was
Let's
going.
fight back.
Yep.
My dad
Everybody's
taught
not a
me,
fighter.
if a guy keeps bullying you, my mom did the same thing. Somebody bullying you, you just knock them out and you deal with it. I mean, I'm gonna tell you a story. Once I get
Thank
to
you,
read
Omar, for being the translator.
and translator, what's that? Oh,
She
she
said
agrees with.
she's
Oh,
agreeing
okay,
with you.
okay. Every time fight back, he will stop. Yep, he will sees that you can't beat you when you keep fighting back. Man up. Yep, which is true.
It has some merit to it. I will tell you that.
Right.
But I'm also going to tell you that I've also been the bully buster and watched a guy who bullied another classmate
Oh,
on a
you
regular
wanna put
basis,
that-
and I was his proxy. Dude didn't
Right.
want nothing. He didn't want nothing with me. As
Yeah.
you said, you were 140. I was 190 in high school,
Right.
and I
See, you
fought
was
to stay there.
You was a fat kid.
I was a gorilla. I've been the same height. I've been the same height since the eighth grade.
This dude was 5'2" and
Nope.
190.
I've been the same height since the eighth grade.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
was-
what I did now in junior high school, I started wrestling. I tried to play football, started wrestling, and then from there I started this. I was always working out. You know what I'm saying? Then I started to get into running in junior high school. I didn't run for the track, but just running on my own.
Running away.
Yeah, I would run a couple miles. You know what I'm saying? Nothing like crazy what I did after that. But
Right.
then I tried football one more time. That didn't. I was still too light, so I got into wrestling, and that's why you had to get upper strength. So I started. That's the first time I started weight training.
Okay.
So yeah. and then I never stopped lifting weights. So it's constantly lift weights.
Hmm.
All right, we got you. Hey, thanks, Omar. Okay, he translated. All right, that reminds me of I had I had a I had a guy. I had a black guy from the South and a white guy from Louisiana from the South. I couldn't understand a word the black guy was saying. So he had a lazy tongue. So he was saying, Sarge. And I was like, what the hell are you saying? So I looked at the white dude, and the white dude was like, he's saying this. So I had my
You
own
have your
personal translator.
own Dr. Doolittle. He can talk to the
Man, he
people.
couldn't talk, man. And I
Mm-mm.
said, now, and then the funny part about it, he could hear me, right? So I
Right.
looked back
You
at the
standing
white
right
dude and
there.
I looked back at the white dude and I said, now you tell him this.
But he's standing right there with you. Damn. Damn.
Is that funny?
Hmm.
Man, that was stupid.
Yeah. I don't think our
Okay.
the youth of today have the mentality that we did. For I'm gonna tell you,
No, no, no,
I had
no. They
discussion.
don't.
I had this
No.
discussion earlier, right? So we were
They're
talking
too
about.
soft.
I was at the
They're too
range and I was
soft.
talking to Tom. Everybody knows Tom. Talking to Tom out at the range, and he said, we're talking about there's a part
He's
in
here to
the
help you, Keisha.
Georgia. He's here to help you, Mr. Curmudgeon. He was talking about there's a part in the Georgia state post
I was trying to
firearms
turn it around
qualification,
now.
and
Yeah.
you got to move to your left, move to your right, step back. And we were talking about that, and I said, well, he said, yeah, a lot of guys that I know that are taking that uh, qualification course have a problem with that. I said because they're younger, and I said the problem is these guys are in good shape, they're physically. I said, but they don't get outside. When we used to go outside, they go online. So they're good and doing this. They can X, Y, button back for trigger buttons and all that stuff. They don't go outside as much. So their coordination is not the same. It's really not hard. It's
And that's
one
why we got
freaking step.
that's why we got a lot more fat children, fat teenagers today
Yeah.
that out of shape
Hmm.
than we did back in the day because my parents got us bikes and told us you better go ride somewhere and get out this
Yep.
house. You know what
Bro,
I'm
you
saying?
come back in
Yeah.
and you staying in it when nobody
Yeah.
wanted that. Today
Right.
they would love it. They used to
Right.
tell us, you come back in here one more time, and we were getting all our little gear and football, or oh yeah, I gotta go and run back in the house and get your baseball glove. And they say, you come back in here again and you're not going
Hmm.
back out. And
That's
that
right.
forget it. And
Yeah.
if we did, we snuck in. Came through and went through the basement window or something, and then
Right.
we still got caught.
Yeah.
But
It was get
right.
outside, or you're gonna end up working in the house.
Mm-hmm.
Help
Yep.
cleaning up. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying?
Something.
And especially on Saturday morning, my mom running the vacuum cleaner every Saturday morning. Just like, come on,
Bro,
man,
we couldn't
get up,
wait to get out.
breakfast.
Nine
You know what
o'clock
I'm
in the
saying?
morning, we was going to 9 o'clock at night. We
Yeah.
played football all day long. And if we wasn't playing football, we made up something with a football. We were all
Right.
kind of crazy shit.
Hmm.
Bicycles, journeys. I mean, we were told to stay on the street, right? So you can go up and down the block.
But we
Man, we
had,
were 5, 6, 7 miles away.
but you know what we developed when we did that? We developed social skills. You know what I'm saying? And when we develop yeah, I know. We develop social skills to help us deal with people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
when you become when you isolate yourself, you lose your social skills. When you
Hmm.
sit at home playing
You do.
Xbox,
One of the bigger
eating
things that if you
Cheetos.
look, the CDC and mental health practitioners, they say that 2 years that the young people who are in school, whether it was high school or middle school, elementary school, they all suffered a setback,
Hmm.
not only in the cognitive functions, but also in developmental and emotional.
Oh, you're talking about doing
The
jail years?
that time.
Yeah, doing the jail years, the
Yeah,
time. Yeah,
yeah.
right.
During the
Yeah.
hurry
So
up and
now
stay at home.
we're looking at a whole generation that's going
Hmm.
to come up.
Yeah.
In that generation, they're gonna have some real serious problems. So we think
We
we're
already
seeing.
seen it. The 6 year old, bro, a six
Oh
year old.
yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah.
ridiculous.
6 year old. Yeah, yeah,
6 year
yeah,
old. And
yeah.
those two, the guys you mentioned earlier, the 13 and 15-year-old.
Right.
Now they're like almost like what we used to call them, preacher kids. The preacher
Hmm.
kids when they finally get this like go away to school
No,
and they just
don't
go
even talk about the
buck
preacher
wild.
kids. Yeah.
Are you one of them?
No.
Oh,
Mm-mm. I'm far from a preacher kid.
oh.
You know what I'm
Sometimes
saying?
you act like a preacher kid.
No, I ain't preaching nothing, bro.
No, I know you don't preach it, but I mean, sometimes you act like you're a preacher. You get when you get away from places, you get kind of crazy. You let the 4 hairs that you still have left down, and it's over.
Oh my God. Get out of here, man. Oh my God.
Yeah, you just leave my man made in Russian, whatever the hell his name is. Leave him alone.
Made a rubber. Yeah.
Oh, rubber. That's what it is. I
Yeah.
thought it said made in Russia.
No. You
Oh
ain't
my
gonna
God, he
ban
probably
some of these.
12. What do you? How old are you, man? 12.
Yeah, I need to ban some of these guys. So
Fucking 12-year-old.
yeah. But violence is a it's a hard thing to control.
It is,
You
and
know?
the thing is, we're all capable of it. That's the
Yeah.
key, is that we're all capable of it, and nobody
Even
can say it
six-year
never happened
olds.
to me. Yeah, unfortunately,
6-year-olds are capable of
and I think
violence.
in that particular case, you need to have a 6-year-old. That's reactionary.
Hmm.
They've seen that happen before. They've seen the escalation of violence, and they just respond by acting out on that. Because what what's he, first grade? That's not even
Yeah.
first grade. First grade,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
What could be so bad for first grade? You didn't like
Yeah.
the finger paints. You didn't like
Well,
the heaping of glue.
I remember in first grade I was traumatized. I had just two little. It was a boy and a girl. The dude, he grabbed me from behind, and she came up and scratched my face. You know what I'm saying? And
Dude, that's
yeah,
remarkable. You can remember
yeah,
100 years ago.
yeah. Get out of here. Yeah. So I was like, damn, I was so angry. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to punch her lights out. You know what I'm saying, for doing that. His too. He was just stronger than me. I was like, man, how's that kid so stronger than me? And we're supposed to be in the same grade.
It
You know
might
what I'm
have been
saying?
left back 4 times.
He probably was.
Like
You know what
social
I'm saying?
promotion. They said nah.
But he was trying to impress her. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying?
Right.
And it was some wild stuff.
But
Yeah, I remember that.
you didn't come back
Mm.
with a slingshot or some type of weapon to take
I
revenge.
don't know if I tried to hit her the next day or what. Um, I can't remember that part. You
You
know what
see
I'm
that?
saying?
Look at that right there. That's what she's talking about. Flipped it right back into our court. Emotional intelligence. Teach it early. That right there. Say you gave her a classic example. That happened to Alfonso Cornelius, ladies and
Yeah,
gentlemen.
yeah. Right.
Yep. You had to
I'm not
learn
a,
early. And the crazy thing is, with your compartmentalization and what you're
Mhm.
talking about with violence, that's similar to this. Only you store it. You not necessarily store it, but you evaporate it. You get rid of it. You don't allow things to fester and build up
No,
to
no,
the
no. I don't
point where
carry it on my shoulders. No.
you carry
No.
it in your brain.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
the same damn
Yeah.
place.
Well, you know what I mean. When I
Right,
carry it on my shoulders.
but with intelligence, you're letting it go. You're moving past it.
Right,
You're
right,
gonna
right,
say
right.
right, so that you don't fall back one day and then you wind up,
Well, how you gonna learn that? You gotta learn emotional intelligence
that's what
from
we're
your
talking
parents.
about. That's what she
You
said
know?
earlier. She said you got to
Yeah.
teach that. It's something that you have to actively participate in. It's not something you just say,
Right,
okay, boom,
right,
you got
right,
intelligence. You got to tell. Nope, I don't like you, so
right,
you don't get it.
right. Because I know my dad was a very violent man.
Yes,
And
see, this is exactly what I'm talking about right here.
but go ahead and read it.
But in today's world, they are quick to blame the gun rather the violence of the person. And that's the key
Hmm.
that I say every time I read a headline and it says gun violence, take the gun away. And what do you have? You still have violence. You have
Hmm.
violent people. If there was a way to imaginary or somebody can do some hocus pocus and every gun would be gone, right now, there's still going to be somebody that's going to run someone over with a car. There's still somewhere out there that's going to stab somebody with a knife. Still baseball bats out there. There's still bombs to be made. People will still hurt people no matter what you take away. Whatever
Yep.
restrictions you put on them, it's not it. Now what happens is you leave people who are law abiding and good people wide open, susceptible to violence, no way to
Right.
protect themselves.
Um.
Everyone that listens, everyone that I recognize in this list that we've seen that commented today, I know are defensive gun users. None of them going on the offensive. Not one person on this has said, I'm going to do a robbery. Not one person said, I'm going to use this gun because this guy took my whatever and I'm going to get it back. You never seen now one offensive use out of everybody. Everybody practices defensive firearm uses. Everybody practices safe sound, from instructors to people who just practitioners to people who are in the industry. Everybody, not one person on there. Why do we have more gun? Why do we need more gun restrictions? That's my point.
No, we don't.
And that
And also in this last bill, it's a that they passed where all this money that was bled through the White House. There's a red flag law in there, and a lot of people don't realize it. And that red flag law is going to affect soldiers with PTSD. It gives the authority of the court system to classify that person a threat to society and seize all firearms that they own.
wow.
Um,
What's the
yeah,
bill? Do you know the bill name?
that was the last House bill that they passed. You know, it was a budget bill that they
Yeah.
passed.
Well,
I'll look it
see,
up.
when you people don't understand when you start talking about politicians and all, these are not
Hmm.
dummies. They're not dummies. You may
Right.
not like them, but they're not
I, I,
dummies.
I'll
And
have it for the next show.
they'll
Yeah.
slide things in. Oh, it's just a budget bill for cleaning up streets. Turn
Yep.
around and you got all kind of other things
Yeah.
in it.
Yeah. Remember Cain
Exactly.
and Abel? Cain, he didn't use a gun; he used a rock.
Yep.
But in the UK, I was just looking up the statistics in the UK. The UK
David and
just
Goliath.
had 1,609 serious knife offenses
Damn.
in the year of June 2020. That was just 1 month. So they had a 20% increase on last year and an 85% rise in a decade of knife
Damn.
violence
See,
after they
I don't
banned
like knives,
guns.
bro. I don't like
Yeah.
knives.
Knives are
Nope.
very dangerous and you
Yep.
can die from a knife
I
a lot
don't.
faster than you can from a gun.
Mm-mm.
And
In my street days, bro, I ain't mess with none of them dudes with knives. They got it down. They got put down quick,
mhm.
quick. And you know what? One thing you'll find, I don't know if anybody on here would. You ask somebody you know that street officer. Anytime you deal with a homeless person, there's always a knife. Whether it's one of those jagged steak knives that they found them somewhere, or
Or
some
rusty
homemade
knife.
shank.
Yeah.
They take nails and fashion some type of shanking device with nails. They always have some type of edged weapon, so to speak.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
nope. Those things are quick. People don't
Yeah.
realize how quick a knife is. Knife in close quarters is probably just as fast as a gun, if not faster, because you don't have
It's
to worry about a
faster. It's been proven to be faster. Yeah.
reciprocating slide. You don't have to worry about a
Well,
slide. You don't have to worry about a revolving barrel or revolving
it's
cylinder, should I say?
less thought pattern
Yep.
because now when you manipulating the firearm, you got to tell your brain to manipulate this. Then you're thinking about sight, picture, and all that stuff. With a knife, you just this reaction.
Very instinctive. Yep.
Yeah, you can just deal with, and it's your body can flow with a knife a little bit more better than
Yeah.
working that firearm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once you clear the wherever you don't have, most of these people don't even have them in a sheath. Once you clear your pocket or wherever the hell you're holding it in, it's on and it's already ready. No need to cock it. Nobody worried about it.
So,
Jamming or anything.
So you gun guys always carry a knife. You know what I'm saying?
I
Even
do,
two.
but I mean, I don't want to. I don't. When I say I don't like them, I don't like confronting them. I don't like being in front
Right.
of one.
Right. I don't like being in front of one either, but I'm just saying, if maybe somebody else don't like being in front of one either. I can't say what I want to say, but I'm gonna say it kind of. You know what I'm saying?
No, you didn't say it. You didn't say it. Yeah, I got you, man.
Oh man. Yeah, so there's nothing we can do about it. We just try to live in this society and I walk with soft shoes
Yep, me
and
too. I
I
think
don't
most of the people that I know about or know everyone that's on the list so far tonight. and many people who are watching, I saw the YouTube numbers, and people who I recognize out there as well. And not one of those people that I know is like a straight jackbutt that goes out and steps on other people's toes or bumps and elbows people just to start a ruckus. No, everybody pretty much nowadays walks gently, and the people who walk gently are the ones that you need to worry about.
Walk softly, carry a big stick.
There you go.
That's it right there.
Did Harriet
So
Tubman say that?
I don't know who said that. You, Mister. Come on, you know where you are. Go ahead, and speak it, man.
Teddy. Teddy
Come
Roosevelt.
on, educate me, brother.
Teddy Roosevelt.
Teddy Roosevelt. All
Yeah.
right. I just know I have a whatever. Yeah. Not
Yeah.
a heel to be noisy. Oh, okay. Never even thought about it like that.
Well, she wears the heels.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
she's
yeah,
saying,
yeah, yeah.
not
Of
I.
course. Yeah.
Heels can be noisy, so she's not walking lightly. But yeah, she know what you
Yeah,
meant.
yeah. But I
She
know
no
what you're talking
troublemaker
about.
neither, except
Yeah.
when she know you, then you're in trouble.
Right. He said Teddy Roosevelt. Yeah.
Yeah, you think
And
I
he
was
said
wrong?
it on the Battle of San Juan, right? I think that's what it was. No?
Ask Omar. He keeps me straight. If I keep you
Okay.
straight, then he keeps me
Battle of
straight.
San Juan was vicious. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And that was a nasty fight. Oh yeah. Let's next week, me and Al are gonna do a on location shoot. And we've been invited to come out and do our Two Alphas talk more like a documentary shoot at the Vault. The Vault is here in Marietta, Georgia. It's a local shooting range, and we're going to go out and talk to the owner, talk to the people who work there,
Patrons,
some of the patrons. We're going to actually shoot on the range, and
Yep,
we're going
test
to
it out.
test it out, and we're going to show our
Broadcast
findings.
live from there.
Yeah, well, we're not broadcasting live from there. It's going to be pre-recorded.
Oh man.
No, yeah, it's just too much work to do all that, and so it's going to be well. The next week's show will be a pre-recorded show, but that will be embedded into the show. And
Right.
so yeah, so you
You
guys
hear,
can
you hear
see
how he
it.
talking now? He talking about embedded, like he's a producer over here now.
Dude.
Oh, it's Rick when I need him.
But we're gonna have a full production, 2 camera personnel at the doing a video, and it should be pretty interesting, pretty fun. This will be our first one. Then we're gonna try to get a lot more down on our
Yeah.
belt, and more ranges, gun stores. Try to get some factories in there, and it's gonna be in 2 weeks. This is gonna be in 2 weeks. So it's gonna air. We're gonna actually be
We'll
doing
do
the
it
shooting.
next week, but right.
The shooting is
Yeah.
going to be done next week, but the show
Production,
will air two
right.
2 weeks from now.
Mhm.
So we'll be live next week. Then the show after that will be a pre-recorded show of what that
We'll put it
that
together.
event was.
Right.
Yeah, we'll put it together, and so it looks smooth and crisp and clean for you guys. And it should be pretty interesting. It's pretty
Yep.
fun.
And if you get a chance, in the meantime, stop by the vault and say hi and let them know
Right.
that 2 Alphas sent you by.
Right, and if, like I said, he's a new owner, very nice guy. They got some very good products. The range, he redid the range, and it's very clean. He got some very good prices on firearms. Ammunition prices not well, and
WKRB Saturday.
but it's
We'll
his.
be up there Saturday.
Yeah, I didn't want to say the date because I didn't want nobody coming out there.
They
But
should go there. Support us. What are they gonna do?
Yeah.
Step over, get behind the yellow line, please.
We'll be doing it on Saturday, and but the range is very nice. He even make holsters and stuff for you on the go.
Yeah.
And but we're gonna show all that, and it's gonna be like a little documentary thing. It's just going through the range and just 2 Alpha talks. You guys just see us out in the real world. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's our surprise, and we're gonna try. Like I said, we're gonna try to get a lot more of those coming, a lot more visitations and on location shoots. And maybe one day we will do something live, or we will do something on the range with some of you guys and do a show out there and have it pre-recorded when you guys can ask us real questions in real time.
Right.
So that's something we were thinking about doing too. So uh, there it is. Do want to say, I know you got to work. Yep. So um, um, like the video and like our YouTube video. If you haven't liked it already, please like it now. Hit that like button that's down there in that corner. And the same for people on Rumble. Please like the video. And that's all we ask you guys to do. And it doesn't take much to do it. And we really appreciate you guys coming out and being with us and asking those questions and laughing with us and putting out through his paces. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I got to keep me on my toes, man.
Yeah, keep him on his toes.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, we want to say, well, we'll see you guys in the range. You got anything else?
I say, see you on the range. Thanks, this guy once again, man.
And we're actually going to see you on the range.
Yep.
All right. See you guys later.
All right.
All right. Bye.